All right, I am back, and we have switched to a whole new vibe. There is no sculpting going on. There is redoing a poorly painted, poorly glazed piece. So I'm getting to that. So this piece has been glazed. Like I said, it was poorly glazed by me because I was at the studio, had to worry about time constraints when the studio was going to close and all of that. And there are a lot of nooks and crannies in this piece that were very difficult to get into. I didn't want to keep getting up to switch out brushes because I was so pressed for time. So it just basically taught me a lesson. Glaze at home. Glaze at home. Because then I have access to all sorts of brushes. Like joints like this, very thin brush. Another joint like this, very thin brush. Just a lot of supplies at home, and I can get up, take my time, and maneuver the way I need to. So this is the Dixie Belle Slick Stick. I'm so glad they renamed that because I have a list, and saying that takes a lot of effort for me. So they ended up combining this with another product of theirs, and now it's called simply Bonding Boss. And this product is sort of like a primer that is able to go onto slick and shiny surfaces. Goes on white. You have to do a couple of coats, let it sit overnight, and then you can paint once it's fully cured and dried. So I probably won't do anything regarding the actual painting until late tomorrow evening. So I'm just using this stick to stir it around because it settles once it's been sitting in there for a while. You can see that hopefully down at the very bottom corner of the screen. Just using the towel to wipe this off. And I also need to go get a little Ziploc bag to put this on top of so that I don't slick stick the table. Hold on for 1 second. This is a heavy piece. This is not going to be an interesting video. You're just going to be watching me paint, so I'll understand if this doesn't have any views or any sustained views. I get it. It doesn't matter that I'm getting sloppy there and have extended out onto this arm because the whole thing is getting painted, so that's fine. And I'll go in with the smaller brushes to get down into those tight areas, like the one I was just in, and it will all be good. Just trying to make the coverage even, so I'm going back over areas in one direction because I don't want it to look bulky or lumpy in areas like everything wasn't intentional, because everything about this certainly is very intentional. I like the way this brush applies, so I don't have extensive knowledge of brushes, you know, sable, horsehair, all of that. I just pick up whatever shape looks like it's going to do the job, and whatever softness seems like it's going to achieve the results I want. And this one, I just like the shape because it wasn't completely flat. It's sort of tapered, rounded bristles, and I like it. Now this goes on even better than the last time I applied this, not because there's any difference in product, it's the exact same product, but this is a matte glaze without as much gloss to it, and it seems to brush on much better because of that, so I like that. There's a crack in this piece. It doesn't go all the way through, it just happened. It's nothing that's ever going to destroy the piece or ever go all the way through because it has been glazed, it's vitrified, it's solid, but it's still evident. So I'll probably go over that area with the Bonding Boss, even though this isn't really the Bonding Boss. I just don't want to mess with those two curvy letter words with my lisp. So I'll go over that probably, you know, a few times just to gain maximum coverage and to sort of try to fill in, you know, that evident crack. So you see how far down I have to go and why I grabbed up the Ziploc bag? Because I hadn't even covered the bottom good. when I was glazing before. And the Ziploc bag allows me to smoothly turn it without it catching friction onto the table, so that's good too. When I tell you it is hard to get into those crevices, I mean it. So I got to clean off this brush now because I've done pretty much a full coat everywhere I can get to. And now I'm going to have to go in with a much smaller center brush. This is a piece you really have to study from so many angles because there's so much opportunity to leave spots untouched. The construction of it in areas is just really, really tight. So That's why I have to spin it in very tight circles, very tight rotations, so that I can see through the light and shadow, because the shadow will fall in such a way that you think you've covered an area and you haven't. So pieces like this, I should never try to complete at the studio. They always need to be brought home and given the attention they deserve. All right, we're clocking out at 44 minutes and 41 seconds. So we'll call that 44 minutes and 30 seconds. And this is the first coat. I'm going to put on another coat. I doubt that I'll use a third one, but if it's necessary, if I if I still feel like I have too many areas of transparency that I'm not comfortable with, I'll definitely put as many coats on as are necessary to make sure that I get the coverage I need so that my painting can come out, you know, vibrant, lovely. I've got everything I need to complete this piece, so I'm very happy about that. And shutting this video down. Now, well, you know what? We know where I ended with this, so I'm just going to push her over to the side and do a little maintenance and cleanup work on a pendant that I have ignored. Let's bring her back out. Lord, I forgot this other pendant was in here, dropping and flopping all around. That's a piece from the Fang series. And he's a pendant. I forgot to put the piercing in. So, good thing that I did decide to do this because it's gotten really, really hard. And now because I waited so long, yeah, it's probably going to crack. And then I'll have to go in and repair, which sucks. But I think I want to go in at an angle on this. I feel like I just broke something. Something gave way just now. And I'll see in a second. I'll focus on making the hole because I can always build up another piece of clay at some point. Yes, that broke. I felt it. Hold on. Damn it. Look at that. Look at what just happened, guys. Everything came off. So, what that means now is that I need to soften all of this. I'll do that by putting a ton of slip on it. Just really, really excessively thick. This will allow it to soften. Then I'll do the piercing. And then I'll rebuild up the hair. So this is a tomorrow job. But I got to go ahead and prep it for now. So. And I'm going to put a little piece of towel on it to sort of keep it in place. I don't want to put it down because it's so gummy, goopy, gloopy. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a word. All right, so I've really saturated it, and what I have to hope now is that it doesn't go so far down into the other clay that it makes everything else vulnerable. So that's what it looks like. Like he has a bandage on his head. I'm gonna, those pieces are garbage now. So I just threw those on the plate that I used to cover the slip. And I'm gonna put him back in his bag, right into that little part that balloons out like a fold. I'm gonna put him right there in the fold and close it down so that he's right there in the corner, isolated. Fold him over one time. That'll still leave me room to put her in just a sec. All right, let's get him a safe space. And let's get on to her. Now, I drilled her holes in early on, and thank goodness. What I didn't do was come in and clean up her face. So I'm just gonna lightly rake the tool along, smooth her out some. I'll hit her probably with the brush, lightly dampened with water, smooth her out even more. And then she'll be good to go. She can just be set to dry in her time. And she'll probably be ready in about 2 weeks to go into the kiln. But more than likely, I'm going to go ahead and let her dry for months because I just like to really be sure that the moisture is out of my pieces to hopefully give them a chance of survival in the survival in the kiln. Even though I had a piece that had been drying for about 8 months, I know it was bone dry and it still exploded. So I guess there was maybe an air pocket. I keep reading conflicting theories about how it's never just an air pocket. It's always moisture. And that made a lot of sense to me, and I was running with that until this happened. Because like I said, that piece had been drying for 9 months. It was pretty well hollowed out. Or maybe that's just a so I thought situation, and all the moisture hadn't gone out. I don't know. There's really no way to make that determination once a piece has exploded. You just have to live with it and then move on, you know? She's still pretty solidly affixed to this canvas, so I'm just trying to get in there gently and start to make some moves to get her lifted up off of it. That's her. Once you pick it up off the canvas, then you can see areas that you couldn't see before that need attending to. So you attend to them. The pendant sits this way on the neck. So I am going to put her back into the bag with the other one that I have to return to tomorrow. And what I'm going to hope is that I can rebuild him back up. But I've got to put both of them in an area that I won't accidentally allow anything to drop onto it, that I won't bump into, all of that good stuff. So that's going to go on the secretarial hutch behind me, up on the top. All right, so now that's out of the way. I don't think I want to bother with another coat on them just yet. Let's see, what time is it? All right, it's 11. I don't know, I think I'm feeling a little like I want to be in bed. So I think I'm going to wait, put the second coat on them early in the morning, as early as I can manage to get up on my own. So I'm not setting an alarm. So I'll do that early in the morning, and then maybe right around, I don't know. I don't think I should come back to it the same evening. I think that I should paint it early in the morning, put the second coat on, and let it be, and come back to it on Monday. So that's what I'm gonna do. All right, thanks for hanging in there with me. Peace.